Hello, this is Wednesday. It is January 11th, 2017. Going to go over the weather over the next several days and then talk about long term. Really quick, today looks nice up here in Northern Virginia. The rain that came through overnight and the freezing rain has kind of cleared off to the east. Rain will move back from the southwest to the northeast later today, and I'll show that on the short-term weather models here in a minute. So here we are. This is moving out in time. So we are now dealing with a little bit later today as this front to the west is going to, and system's going to start moving east. I'm just going to move forward in time here. And we'll see that the rain will increase later today. Again, moving in from the southwest, as I mentioned before. And move southeast. So this is a warm front that's going to come through. And yeah, when we say warm, it's exactly what it's going to bring is much warmer air. So some rain along this front comes up here through this evening, and then by later this evening, it's moved on out. I'll give you some time frames here. This is like later this evening, and then on out into the overnight. And then finally that rain clears out of here. What it's going to do is, if you look at these thickness lines, which you can't really tell, but this is the areas of the 500 millibars. It shows 558. Also the other millibars. We're talking about much warmer air, southerly flow. So today, once the rain moves, before the rain moves through, it'll be kind of clear in the northeast. You saw that. We actually have dry, clear conditions now. Temperatures are at 43 degrees, which for me is the warmest it's been since about last Wednesday when it was in the 50s. So 43 is pretty warm, and we'll probably get into the low 50s today in most areas, even maybe 60s in the farther south, and that will melt quite a bit of the snow and the other things that are left over. Then tomorrow, once this warm front moves to the north, 60s will flood the entire region and 70s in the south. So a lot of melting will happen in the next 24 hours. But don't get used to it. A front comes through tomorrow night, and temperatures start to fall on Friday. And now what's happening is this front comes, it's going to step south of the area. How far south it goes will depend on what exactly happens weather-wise. What I can tell you is that what we're dealing with is an overrunning situation where moisture is going to overrun a Arctic boundary that is still up to the north. After this warm day tomorrow, the front comes through and brings back in some more Arctic air. And then what's going to happen is we're going to have an overrunning event, which means that warmer, moist air is going to override a cold, high-pressure dome to the north. And I'll tell you, typically, if it was all cold and super cold, the column is cold enough, that tends to, in my book, a 2 to 4 to 3 to 5 type inch snowstorm. But in this case, we're not going to get deep enough cold air. And because of that, we're going to have more of a mixing situation. We're going to have freezing rain along the southern periphery of that, and then going into a sleet and snow and freezing rain type of mix. Probably in the northern Virginia area, you get your normal valleys where you get cold air damming or cold air up against mountains, and this will be for Saturday. Now, how much precip falls as frozen versus not is going to really depend on just the thickness of the air and also how strong the cold air holds in there. At this point in time, I'd say anywhere from the northern Virginia valleys up into Maryland may stay all cold enough for at least some type of mixing all day Saturday into early morning Sunday, and would not warm above freezing until really after the precip is done. Leaving a pretty chilly raw Sunday with only highs in the 30s and around 40. Even further south, you're going to talk about 50s. I mean, down in North Carolina, not exactly warm, but not nearly as cold. So it's where that Arctic boundary sets up that will set up the situation. The sooner the precipitation comes in on Friday night, the more likely it will start to snow and sleet in areas in the northern and Virginia area. I'm mainly thinking of D.C. area. South there's still be a mix, obviously. So Saturday just looks raw with periods of sleet, freezing rain, snow possible. Nothing super heavy. There are some more heavy amounts that could happen out in the western regions due to some of the uplift that the mountains actually does help with. So anyway, I'm not sure exactly how it's going to pan out. I'm not even going to do a guesstimate yet on amounts and exactly who gets what. But we'll just say that there's a wintry mix chance here in Northern Virginia, up into the Maryland, Pennsylvania area, and the valleys for the weekend. And in line with that, here's the GFS model, American model. It's only showing a little bit of freezing rain and sleet until you get out here in the western areas. It looks pretty bad. I mean, we're talking like an inch of frozen. I'm not sure exactly how much really this is going to be, who's going to get what, freezing rain-wise. But again, an Arctic boundary is set up in this area. That's why you're seeing the cold air, and that's why you're seeing frozen. It's definitely going to be an ice storm out in the plains. How it plays out here, I still have a lot of questions. Just for snowfall sense, what the GFS model is showing, we're seeing the 2 and 3 inches of snow here in the northern areas. Again, I'm not sure exactly how this is going to pan out. I wouldn't bet on 3 inches of snow. 1 to 2 inches seems to me to be possible within a lot of sleet and stuff mixed in. And lest you get concerned that the long term will have cold temperatures, I can assure you that warm up that I have hinted at in my tweets and my posts out there is on its way. This is a 6 to 10 day period. Very strong likelihood of way above normal temperatures here in the east. And that continues on out into the 2-week range. Now, at the end of this 2-week range, I will tell you that things begin to look like they could change. Of note, when you see a really cold Alaska, you're going to see it really warm in the United States. Usually this is a low pressure, and it's flooding the United States with warm air because it goes counterclockwise and brings in the warm ocean air here. At the end of this period, just for a quick note, this looks like it may start to go out for the west, which provides more of a ridge or a high pressure system here in the west, and that could bring cold air here in the east. As a matter of fact, I'd say that the long range really does point towards that by the end of January, beginning of February. It looks cold again for a period with another chance of potential snowy weather. I don't suspect it's a locking cold. I suspect after a period of colder, we warm back up again, just like we're seeing this month. What we saw last month, what we saw the month before, we get in these short periods of time where we get colder air, potential for wintry weather, and then a relaxing and a warming trend. So we probably have a few more of these to go through before we get into spring weather. So that was way long to talk about not much, but anyway, I want to give it an update and definitely mention potential for wintry weather this weekend. Please note I'll be doing some updates around this the next few days.